Amazon wholesale is a gold mine, but only if you do it properly. Most people think you need to sell fancy gadgets or whatever's trending on TikTok right now to make money on Amazon. But here's the thing. I've sold over $35 million on the platform selling everyday products that people already know and are already purchasing. Things exactly like shampoo. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how we turn boring products just like shampoo into multi-million-dollar businesses on Amazon. Now let's get into it. If you guys don't already know the blueprint to doing wholesale on Amazon, we'll go over that quickly. So number one, business structure. If you wanna do wholesale, you have to be a legitimate business. That means getting your LLC set up and having a seller's permit ready. Most people come on Amazon and they are looking for a B2C business. So anybody who's doing arbitrage, a lot of people that are just selling stuff on the internet right now, they want to sell to consumers. And at the end of the day, that is not what wholesale is. Wholesale is B2B, which means business to business. So the only way to open up legitimate business wholesale accounts is to present yourself as a business yourself. So that's one of the first things you need to understand before you start wholesale. Ask yourself, is this something I want to go full force with and actually put my time, attention, and go all in with this? Because to really have success with wholesale, you need to act as a business, whether that's a legitimate wholesaler, distributor, somebody who partners with brands, whoever that is, you're gonna wanna have your LLC set up and a reseller's permit because you can't buy and sell without that. Number two, you're gonna figure out, am I working with distributors or am I working with brands? So with wholesale, you're usually working with one of two options. Distributors is a different conversation and a different outcome a lot of the times. So distributors still work. You can open up distributors much more easily than working with brands in my opinion, but it's lower hanging fruit. So ideally, eventually you're gonna wanna work with brands. You can start working with distributors, find brands through them, and ultimately work your way up the food chain. By the way, if you guys want the complete system for not just finding brands, but convincing them to say yes, landing them, and growing them properly on Amazon the right way, click the link below and apply for the Wholesale Network, our private coaching community where we're helping everyday resellers start and scale wholesale on Amazon the right way, working with authorized suppliers and brands directly. It's great to have your little Amazon reselling business, but if you want to stick around for the long term, you need to be working with brands. Anybody telling you otherwise is lying. You then want to focus on value-added services. So with wholesale and brand direct wholesale specifically, it all comes down to the value you're providing to your brand or supplier. If the only thing you're doing is buying and reselling product, that's not that valuable at all. So once you become somebody who understands how to add value, actually does provide the services you're promising them, it's really easy to stand out from the crowd. Once you're adding services, landing brands and distributors, and actually scaling on Amazon, you need to figure out financing. So naturally with Amazon, everybody runs in one of two options. They either don't know what to sell, so they need more product to source, or they don't have enough cash to spend on this product. So opening up more credit cards, opening a line of credit, whatever that is, before you properly scale and do wholesale the right way, you got to figure out your financing. And then once you have that in place, the goal is to scale. So from here, we are working with boring products, right? Like I'm talking about shampoo, I've sold ketchup, yada yada. Most of the brands and products I sell, none of you guys would even recognize. You don't know the brand names because I'm not working with Dove, Colgate, Sony, Logitech, all these big names that a lot of course sellers online will tell you about because we know the brands. That old way of selling wholesale on Amazon is dying. It's not completely dead, but it is dying quickly. Reason why is because those high in-demand brands, number one, everybody wants, and number two, Amazon is cracking down harder on those big name brands. So that's why you see arbitrage sellers get listings gated and shut down and brands completely wiped. That never happens with these small to mid-sized brands. So the big thing here is avoid what everyone else is doing. If everybody online is telling you to source Colgate, Dove, these big name brands, personally, I would avoid it. I'm looking for boring products. So what makes a boring product? What is a boring brand that would be good to partner with? Ideal brand criteria for me me. There's a number of points we could hit on. I just keep it super simple. So ideal brand is consumable, meaning it's a product that I can consume. The customer purchases it today and then they purchase it again next week, next month. When you can focus on consumable brands, that means there's always gonna be predictable stock and there's always gonna be predictable demand. So from your brand and Amazon, you figure out a flow of how much inventory we should get in there, and then ideally you never sell out. So we're always looking for consumable brands. I'm not looking for one-offs. I don't want to sell a high-ticket electronic item. A lot of sellers I've helped over the years actually end up phasing out, or they sold for a little bit and then moved on. One return will wipe you out there. In demand, so ideal brands already have a little bit of demand to them. It's much easier to work with brands, scale them, and make sales on Amazon when you're working with brands and products that are already in demand. I see a lot of people fail on Amazon when they're doing private label and trying to create brands and create product listings that have zero demand, because then you're going to spend half your budget on Amazon PPC, on marketing, trying to convince people to buy the brand. Instead, we're working with brands that are already in demand. A lot of them have been around for decades. They just haven't figured out Amazon yet. And that leads to our next point. This brand must not be Amazon optimized. So what does that mean? We're targeting brands who they don't have those beautiful looking listings and the videos already on it and thousands of reviews. I'm not targeting those brands. I'm looking for the brands on Amazon that have bad images, bad copy, no FBA, and there's a number of other things, but these are three main points of what an unoptimized brand is. So when you guys are sourcing products or sourcing brands looking to sell, ask yourself this: is this somebody who I think is super dialed on Amazon? You know, they have a partner or they have a really experienced agency that's running it for them? Because if not, they need help. So if a brand's already selling well, they're doing 200 units a month, if they have one image and the copy's bad and there's no advertising, you easily can take that from 200 units a month to 400, 500 or more, just on basic optimization. So we're targeting these brands, offering these services for them, and in return, we are an authorized seller and ideally exclusive. So once you have that brand, this is the brand partner approach. So with wholesale, there's a lot of different ways people do wholesale on Amazon. Some people only work with distributors. Some people work with liquidators. Some people are doing brand direct, like myself. So they find brands, they partner with brands, but we're still wholesalers. So at the end of the day, I am a distributor. I'm buying, I'm stocking inventory, and at the end of the day, there's no fees for working with us. So that's the big thing about mentioning that you are a buy and stock distributor who also provides value added services. So a lot of brands on Amazon, they're either paying 60 to 100K a year for somebody in-house to do it all for them, if it's their e-commerce expert or whatever it may be, or they're paying a grossly high fee to an agency who basically starts them, gets them up and running, and then they still are taking that retainer fee every month. We realize there's a lot of brands out there that just don't like that setup. It might be good at the beginning when you're getting your products listed and yada yada, you have an agency do it all, but after a while, the process of paying them $2,000 to $5,000 a month and all they're doing is keeping your stuff in stock, maybe some light PPC, it's just not worth it. So we target these brands where they might have an agency set up and instead they would rather work with buy and stock distributors like ourselves. So the brand partner approach is number one, we're adding services like PPC, like optimization, but we're also buying and stocking your inventory. So what does that mean for the brand? They get guaranteed profit up front. There's no hidden fees. There's no let's see what our profit margin was at the end of the month. If you work with a brand partner like us, we partner with you, we buy your inventory, you get guaranteed profit, and then for us, we also have an incentive to scale your brand on Amazon. We got to make sales too. And so for me, my first six-figure deal was a brand deal. So started out with, the natural wholesale way of selling on Amazon. I'm working with distributors, I'm selling brands, but a lot of these brands you can actually get in contact with from your distributor. And that's exactly what happened with me. So this shampoo brand we're working with, we're buying it through a distributor, but at the end of the day, the relationship wasn't that great. There's There's also 10 to 15 other FBA sellers, and we were authorized, but we were not exclusive at all. We had no close relationship with the brand. So over time, we started offering these services and asking questions. So that's one of the big things I wanted to hit in this video. When you start working with distributors, working with brands, don't just always try to pitch them and just spew what you can do, yada, yada, yada. Ask questions, see where the conversation goes, and once they start identifying pain points, you can see why they're not crushing it on Amazon or why they used to sell and they're not doing it anymore. When you hear that pain point, that's when you can provide a solution. But most brands that are not dialed on Amazon, they either too many unauthorized sellers, they have no control over the platform, they had a bad experience with a past reseller. Whatever that is, you have to have them actually explain that to you so you can hear where they're coming from and provide a solution. And how this brand still pays me today. So this is the best part about Wholesale, and specifically brand direct wholesale. I landed this brand in 2021, and so it's been like 4 or 5 years now. And number one, I still work with them today. So when you work with distributors and brands that are authorized and authorizing you to sell on Amazon, number one, your supply chain invoices always add up, so you never run into any issues with Amazon. Most sellers who are doing wholesale and gray area wholesale, they're buying products and ultimately they get their account flagged, get a Section 3, and they never last. So if you're gonna do wholesale, and honestly any reselling on Amazon, you need to have brand direct relationships. So I still get paid from that brand today, and the best part about it is they actually refer me to other brands. So when you start working with distributors and brands and you understand how to add value, that's exactly what they want. So you're filling a need. And after that, they're gonna refer you to every other brand in their network. So with this brand that I work with, the owner now loves what we do. She saw the growth in sales. Some of the proven strategies worked, like bundles and multi-packs, stuff we'll get into in another video. But after that, she then referred me to 3 to 4 other brands, and they were also really good brands, and it was the same exact strategy. So once you start working directly with brands, create a case study around it, bring them results, and they will refer you to other brands. So after that, the goal is to scale here. We're all selling on Amazon, whether you're doing $100 a month or $1 million a month, most people still want to continue scaling. So there's a few ways we can do that. Number one, like we talked with financing. So once you have the system, the blueprint, you understand the type of brand you want to work with, the biggest hurdle you'll run into is financing. So that will be number one, 0% interest credit cards. You really want to dial that in. Number two, line of credit. Whatever it may be, you just know that you have profitable products to buy. The one thing you're lacking is financing. And then the big part about scaling, like I just mentioned, is that relationships compound. In business, everything compounds, but in brand direct wholesale, especially, your relationships do. So once you start actually bringing wins to your brands and suppliers, everything will compound. You'll use their name to open more accounts. You'll create a case study, get them a win, and contact everybody else in their niche and start working with them too. Or go back to that brand, ask them, hey, is there anybody else in your network you think would like a service like this? Would you mind if I put you down as a recommendation? I do that all the time, and that's a great way to continuously get more testimonials for you, get your name out there, and over time, it all compounds. Making serious money on Amazon wholesale is not just about finding winning products like everybody online tells you. What you need to actually know is how to approach brands, what to say to them, how to convince them to sell to you, and ultimately how to scale the right way. You need the right systems for everything, from sourcing to supplier relationships, because otherwise the business will crumble. So if you don't want to try to figure all this out by yourself and want to build a 7-figure Amazon wholesale business using my proven strategies, click the first link in the description to apply for the Wholesale Network. And it's not just a course. This is a step-by-step private coaching program to help you guys start on Amazon, scale properly using the wholesale method, and eventually find your own brands to partner with. And I hope this video was valuable for you guys. If it was, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other content you want to see from me. See you in the next one.